From the street, this looks like a modern museum. Inside, it reads more like an engineering logbook of war. One long record of how US naval special warfare kept adapting to impossible little probable NIS. If you only know Navy SEAL history through famous raids, this place quietly corrects that. The story starts earlier, messier, and far less glamorous. Welcome to my channel. If you like battlefields, military history and war museums, please subscribe for more. Today we are visiting the Navy SEAL Museum in San Diego. Pearl Harbor forced the US into a kind of conflict, where amphibious landings would decide campaigns. That exposed a brutal gap. You couldn't land safely unless someone first mapped obstacles, currents, and kill zones under fire. This recon panel captures the original logic. Intelligence at waterline depth, not satellite-level abstraction men in the surf, checking what steel and maps couldn't tell you. Naval combat demolition units followed. Clear lanes, remove obstacles, open the beachhead. This is the origin of the culture. People later romanticized technical precision with almost no margin for error. Then underwater demolition teams, or UDTs, in the Pacific pushed that model forward. The mission was practical and unforgiving. Shape the battle space before the main force arrives, then vanish into the larger operation. Even the weapons case is useful here. Crude by modern standards, but enough to remind you, this lineage began as close-range work in contested water, not as a brand. Korea and early Cold War panels show the doctrine widening. These teams were no longer just demolition specialists. They became flexible maritime problem solvers for fast-moving crises. This suit looks primitive now, but that's the point. The technology changed faster than the risk profile did. By 1962, the Navy formalized SEAL teams. Institution follows necessity. What worked in fragments across World War II and Korea became a dedicated force with broader mission authority. Vietnam is where the identity hardens. Devils with green faces is memorable language, but beneath it is the real shift. Riverine operations, advisory missions, direct action, and the moral ambiguity of counterinsurgency. The Vietnam mannequin grounds that error in material reality, jungle-adapted loadouts, mixed mission types, and sustained uncertainty rather than clean battle lines. Long-free displays give you mission-level texture. This is where museum storytelling works best, zooming in far enough that strategy becomes names, terrain, and split-second decisions. Decorated portraits and valor panels are important, but they also risk simplifying the error into hero snapshots. Better reading. Courage here was cumulative, not cinematic. Global reach marks the next transition. Naval special warfare stops being tied to one war's geography and becomes globally mobile across changing political conflicts. Grenada, compressed timelines, contested information, rapid insertion demands. Panama, urban complexity, sovereignty pressure, and high political visibility. Persian Gulf and Desert Storm visuals show another adaptation. Maritime interdiction and desert operations under chemical threat assumptions. Somalia enters the frame, and the gap between tactical success and strategic ambiguity gets harder to ignore. Balkans-era operations reinforce a key truth. Post-Cold War missions were broad, often intelligence-led, and rarely tidy. Then 9/11 changes the tempo. Not just a new mission set a new operational rhythm measured in repeated deployments over years. Afghanistan-era panels emphasize altitude, distance, and persistence, target networks, partner force integration, and raids under constant uncertainty. Iraq, Syria-era material shows mission diversification under pressure, hostage rescue, partner operations, and rapid intelligence-to-action cycles. Neptune Spear is the museum's obvious focal point. It should be, but this display lands hardest when treated as system output, not lone hero mythology. Years of intelligence work, rehearsal, logistics, and contingency planning converging in minutes. This blueprint shot helps make that argument. Before action comes geometry, routes, sectors, timings, exits. Underwater insertion exhibits reconnect modern teams to their oldest DNA. Different gear, same proposition. Access denied spaces quietly. Then leave before the battle space fully understands what happened. Weapon evolution panels provide a useful counterweight to nostalgia. Special warfare modernized in metal and optics, but the mission equation stayed stubbornly human. Portrait walls and training mottos reframe the story around continuity. Each generation inherits unfinished work from the last. Leadership memorials reinforce that this history is institutional memory, not just operation highlights. The Navy SEAL Museum is strongest when you read it as a timeline of adaptation. From World War II demolition swimmers and UDT recon, through Vietnam's irregular warfare, Cold War and post-Cold War global missions, and the relentless post-9/11 tempo, the constant isn't one famous raid. It's a doctrine built on access, surprise, precision, and repeated reinvention. If this walkthrough gave you a better lens than the usual highlight reel, share it with another military history fan and subscribe for the next deep dive. Peace is precious. War is hell. See you at the next location.